Greetings to all, and welcome to Tahiti Monday, Marbles on Stream Tilted. This is the fourth video of our Techniques and Strategies videos, Techniques and Strategies for the Intermediate. These are techniques and strategies you're going to be using as you get into the harder difficulties, so make sure you've already watched the previous videos in this series. That being said, let's get into it. I'd like to start off with a most controversial strategy. If you look at the board before us, you can't see anything because something's in the way. Those gosh darn names. Hit that button, get those names out of the way, and suddenly you can see everything. Now, some people, some purists as they like to call themselves, will say, but then you don't know whose marble's who. Well, you can just tap the button with your thumb. You can tap it on and off as you need to, but trust me, if you want to get to that top tier tilted, turn those names off so you can actually see where the marbles are, see what's coming up on the map. You'll thank me later. Something else you may have noticed throughout the course of these teaching tilting videos is that we tend to have 100% on our marbles every time we complete a level. Let me tell you, that's not always going to be the case. Strategy number 2 for your intermediate skills is learning that some marbles are just going to die. You can't save them all, ladies and gentlemen. So from here on out, you may not see a full 100% on all of our technique executions, and that is perfectly fine. The rules of tilting are simple. Get 3 marbles to the end. Any marble you have more than 3 is expendable. A mistake you get to make so you can continue on. If you think in terms of practicing, in order to get better, you need to play something as many times as possible. If you are ending runs because you're trying to save marbles, then you're not getting the practice you need because then you have to start the run all over again. So it's better to just get 3 marbles across and try again on the next level than it is to end the run trying to save everyone and not get any practice in at all. So learn to let them die. The sacrifices will be made. And it's going to be okay. As long as 3 marbles make it to the end, you get to make it to the next level and try all over again. As difficulties increase, you will see more and more moving tiles. The best way to handle all of these different moving tiles, sliding bridges, revolving bridges, any of these tricky tiles, is to work on your timing on these tiles. When you try to time a moving tile, you don't want to use seconds. What you want to use is position. For revolving bridges in particular, the timing is very crucial. If you take some time to notice, you'll see that it takes about a quarter revolution of a revolving bridge to cross a tile, which is if you are 1 tile away, you want to be going forward as soon as the bridge is a quarter of the way around to your side. That's going to get you the perfect timing you need to get into the obstacles. So about a quarter revolution per tile that you are away, and that's going to be your best way to time out those revolving bridges. Remember, do not try to use seconds, go by position, and that's going to be a much more reliable way to navigate all the different moving pieces you'll come across. A technique you can use for mogul and window rooms is the Nipple Shuffle. While yes, generally going straight through is a good idea, there's also the capacity to use those diagonal openings between the moguls or between the windows to slowly coast your marbles through in a diagonal line. This will help you line up marbles if you need to get through a specific spot on the next tile after the mogul or window room. So you don't always have to go straight through a mogul tile. You can slide through those diagonals in a slow, controlled fashion. If you've ever found yourself in this kind of a situation where some marbles have skirted ahead of your main group of marbles and you're trying not to lose that many marbles, there is a small technique you can use to continue on with most of the marbles left behind. You have to keep in mind, as your marbles get further and further away from the pivot point being your forwardmost marble, the changes in direction will affect the marbles a lot more. So small jabs left and right are going to move marbles away from the center point a lot more than the marbles near to it. You can use this to your advantage, however. Hold forward to get all the marbles in as close to a static position as possible, and with a double tap, you're going to use the board to smack the marbles over the walls. If they're far enough away, they can get enough momentum from a smack to jump over the obstacles they're in front of, and then you can have the marbles catch up to the marbles in the front. And that is how I do it. This has been Techniques and Strategies for the Intermediate. Thank you for watching. We hope you learned something. And be sure to stay tuned for the next video in this series, Expert Techniques and Strategies.